Hi, my name is Trevor Fall. Welcome to day 2 of the IELTS Speaking Challenge. And I've been teaching IELTS since 2007 and helping students with their exam preparation over those years. So with the speaking part 2, there's some strategies that we want to look at that are important to be thinking about as you prepare. So in this section, you're given 1 minute to look at the topic and think and organize in your mind what you want to say. And then you're given 1 to 2 minutes to speak about that topic. And so for a lot of people, they find that challenging for that 1 to 2 minutes of conversation. So what I recommend is to write out the question or write out your answer in a paragraph when you're practicing. During the exam, you can just make a quick outline. But when you're practicing, write out a whole paragraph of what you would like to say, usually in about 6 to 8 sentences. And then I encourage you, read the paragraph that you've written out loud and record your voice. And you want to do this for 2 reasons. One is to find out how long does it take you to be speaking those sentences, because that'll give you a general idea of how much time you've taken. Is it 1 minute? Is it a minute and a half? Is it 2 minutes? Secondly, it's going to help you listen to your voice, which none of us really like, let's be honest, but you're going to be able to hear how are you speaking? Are there lots of slow pauses? Are there ums and ahs as you're thinking for words? Or as you go through, how are you able to pronounce and read through those sentences or speak those sentences in a way that's natural? So this is a little bit challenging, but it's a very good exercise for people to go through in their preparation. So what is a paragraph? What I define it as, it's a one where you have stated your main information, your main idea, and then you're going to talk about 1 or 2 or 3 main points and give some specific examples or details and add some transition signals in that section. So as you're preparing and you're writing out, you want to be very clear and repeat what you're going to talk about. You're going to talk about your first point with an example or 2 examples, your second point with 1 or 2 examples, and then end off what you've said. So for example, if I'm talking about a museum, and I'm just going to shift this down so that all of the parts of the question show up on one area. So with the question, this is how it would be worded. Describe a museum. How often do you visit? What type of museum is popular? Why do you want to visit the museum? So usually with these questions, they have a main topic and then they have several questions, what or why, who, when, that you're filling in the details for. So with this topic, I would think for up to that minute of time I'm given and identify, okay, why do I visit museums? Which ones are popular? Are they history museums? Are they museums about animals or museums? Or maybe they're not popular. And then when did I go to a museum last? And when did I visit it? Now, during this section, that's where you have 1 to 2 minutes to respond to that question. Then the instructor or examiner will ask you a couple of follow-up questions. And it might be 1 follow-up question, it might be 2 or 3 follow-up questions. But this is similar with part 1. You don't want to just answer in 1 short sentence, but you don't want to talk for a long, long time. So you want to answer in 3 or 4 sentences and try to form your answers in a way. I find it easier to have that structure. What are you going to say? What's your first idea or point? What's your second idea with an example? And that way it gives you a little bit of structure as you're answering these questions. I'll show you a second example. Describe your favorite photograph. Where was it taken? Who took it? What can be seen? So here's, you can see where, who, what, and then explain why it was a good or favorite photograph for you. And then there might be some follow-up questions. How do I take a good photo? Do we still need to have handheld cameras when cell phones take such great pictures? You know, that type of thing where the instructor, examiner is seeing how are you responding to these questions? And then how smooth are your ideas to just find a topic and be speaking about it. So now it's your turn. I encourage you to take one of these 2 questions and give a response. You know, practice writing it out, practice how you would organize it, read through it, record it, and then upload it. And then I and others can make comments on positive comments, of course, but on what you're working on and how you've answered this question. So that's the challenge for day 2 in our IELTS Speaking Challenge.